Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, we are recording and it's in progress. That's good. We are live, and now let's go live on our custom streaming platform to all of our friends in social media. Hello, social media. Hello, friends on social media. Hello, friends on Facebook. Hello, friends on Twitter, or X now, whatever it is. We appreciate you all. We appreciate everyone coming to our 168th meeting of our roundtable. Pretty much amazing. Our current event show now, we started out in the beginning in the depths of COVID to keep everybody sane and safe and exchange ideas. And we're still going 168 shows later. So welcome. And remember, everything you hear today is opinion. I am Jan Landy. You know, one thing I would say, guys, and you can introduce yourselves. I realize I never introduce who's on the show. I never say, hi, well, Wayne Sims from Australia, David Dansky from Hollywood. I never do that. Would you guys like to do that from now on? All right, I'll tell you what. We got a lot of people in the room, so whoever wants to introduce themselves, now's the time. Good. Nobody. Oh, wait.
So I want to know why Ken's in a tux. This is Brian from North Carolina.
And what do you do, Brian? Are you a meteorologist?
No, I do live productions, live sounds, events.
All right, very good, very good. I knew that, by the way. I knew that. I have assisted Brian, and by the way, this show is presented by Soundbroker.com. If the IRS is listening, okay, just want you to know. All right. So Ken Newman is in where are you? Are you in Palo Alto? Is that where you are?
Temecula.
We'll start with our Marcel impersonation from Ken Newman. Okay. His microphone is off. Oh, there we go.
Now it's
because it's hard to, you know, on an audio podcast, it's very hard when they just hear silence.
Yeah. So anyway, so here I am in Temecula, beautiful downtown. No, I'm in the wine country of Temecula, California, because Temecula has a downtown section and apparently has a wine country because there's a lot of wineries. I saw at least 6 wineries on the way here to this winery where we're playing. And allow me to turn the camera around and show you where we're playing. There's the stage and the monitor position, and there's where the people will sit. And this is where they'll come in, and it's all, you know, it's a beautiful building with all kinds of stuff, and they serve, I don't know, they serve stuff over there. Here's my mix position. It's backwards though, because the camera's backwards.
No, actually, it's not back. It's not backwards unless Sound Image has their cases reversed.
You see the CL5? See the CL5?
Yeah.
It says CL5-5. On my monitor, it's backwards. Okay, so that's all. It's just backwards on my monitor then. Oh, that's cool. Okay. So anyway, so the people will come here, they'll get drinks over there. See, there's wine. Can I zoom in? Yeah, there's wine. They're serving over there. And then they'll go to their seats and watch the show and something like that. And
this is Chris Isaac?
Yeah, Chris Isaac with some opening act guy. Somebody playing guitar and singing probably for a few minutes. Yeah, could be like Jan Landy.
It could be. The only person who ever let me open their show for them, and I should be able to, is Robbie Krieger. I opened the show for Robbie Krieger once in Anaheim, California.
Wow.
It was one of my best experiences. And after the show, he told me how great I was.
Wow.
What a good liar he was. Unbelievable. What a great liar. But anyway,
yeah,
people like me.
That's the place. South Coast Winery Resort. Yep. Is that the place? South Coast. Yeah, sure. Anyway, yep. Here we are. Look, and they even sell, look, they sell t-shirts here. I'll take you to the t-shirt stand. I guess you want any Chris Isaac memorabilia. But let's see what they're going to sell here. They're going to sell probably lots of wine and food. Oh, look, they have tacos. They sell tacos. So quesadillas. Oh, looks like they have pizza maybe. Look at this. Oh, yeah, this pizza. Oh, man, this is like you come here for the evening. Look at that.
In the show notes, I'm going to have to tell people to take a Dramamine before they watch this video.
Yeah, right.
You know.
So there, if you want to buy some Chris Isaac merchandise, you know, they got sweatshirts, they got t-shirts, they got other stuff. I think they had ball caps. Yeah, ball caps and tote bags and stuff like that. All for sale at this show if you want to buy them.
Well, there's one
And then,
interesting T-shirt I saw that from Stockton, California. He's selling
That's where
old
he was
T-shirts.
born, you know? No, that's where he was
Oh,
born.
is that
See,
what
it's
it is?
Established since 1956. And then it's on the back of the shirt, it has the cities that we're visiting. It says "You are here," right? Is it right side up?
Oh, no, we see it clearly.
Okay, cool. Anyway, that's what that is. And then so now I'm at the
Okay.
back of the venue and looking towards the stage. Pretty cool,
It
right?
looks beautiful, doesn't it, guys?
Come
That's
show up,
an
come to the
amazing
place to go
building.
see a show.
Yeah, what's the
Absolutely.
temperature? Kenny, what's the temperature?
83.
Okay.
Sun's thinking about going down, so it was a little warmer earlier, but it was much warmer yesterday and the day before. So thankfully, it's not as hot today.
It's very nice. Now, I noticed there's no incline on the seating. So how high is the stage?
It's just like 3 or 4 feet. Like I'm going to show you. So if I was sitting down in row P here, this is what I would see. See?
Except there would be somebody in front of you, so it might be a little
So
more
I might
difficult
not
to
see.
see.
Yeah, well, it's typical winery. Now there are other seats
Yeah.
on the side over here, so they're elevated. So these people, get a better view probably. on
Yeah,
the
those are
side.
the big money seats. Those people that can
Maybe.
really start and drink early.
Here's
Start drink
Tim,
early
Tim's a
and
keyboard
often.
player. Timothy, sorry.
Yeah, stage should be
Anyway.
like 6 feet.
It's not. It's what is this? So this is about 4 feet, yeah. But yeah, there's the setup. There's some keyboards and guitar amp, drums, and that's it. Then we
Well,
got
very, very cool. It's
and
better than
for you sound nerds, the sound system tonight is made by. Can you read that? Can you read that
T-
logo?
TW Audio?
Yeah, have you ever heard of that?
Nope.
Nope.
I say that, is it TWI? Did you say TWI?
No, TW Audio. It's
TW Audio. I used to know
apparently-
TVI, but I don't know TW Audio.
Neither do I. So, but I used it now, and I will be using it tonight, and it will be what we use tonight, and I'll tell you after the show how I liked it. But so far, it's okay. But it always confuses me when a sound company owner buys something that's not sort of name brand, But there must have been some compelling reason to get an off-brand sound system.
Well, it's, you never know what it is, but I remember one thing I will tell you. One of my first tours that I picked up for when I worked for A1 Audio was Chris Isaac's very first tour. And we used the Meyer rig for him.
Right.
So that's,
MSL3s probably.
MSL3s, I remember UPAs. I don't remember the MSL3s, but it's very possible.
What kind of venues was he playing?
Outdoor stuff, outdoor shows.
Oh, so it had to be something bigger than UPAs then.
Yeah,
There
I
goes
think the
Timothy again.
UPAs were the
I'm gonna
front
follow
fills.
Timothy. We're on, say hi to Timothy, you guys.
Hi.
I'm on the Soundbroker Zoom meeting. And here, look, see all my friends are there.
Hey guys.
Well, they can't see it now, but
The one guy's going,
yeah, right. Yeah, what the hell's he? He's the keyboard player with Chris Isaac.
Mhm.
Very good.
Well, anyway, I'm glad Chris is still with us. And so thank you so much for the tour, Kenny. We really appreciate it. We have
Very
some
good.
things that we need to
It's your
cover
show
now.
today.
So one of the things that we want to talk about is what's going on in Maui. Could you believe, the weather in the world is definitely changing. And now scientists in unison are all agreeing that this has to do with man-made pollution. Is there anybody in this room that has the nerve to disagree with that? It's unanimous then. So who knows what's going on in Maui? Anybody? Could you if you've never been to Lahaina, it's one of the prettiest places on earth. It's one of the prettiest places I've ever been to. And to think that it's like now an inferno of hell is hard for me to fathom. I haven't seen any of the video today, but has anybody seen it? Anybody? People are jumping
Yeah.
in the ocean. What's
Yeah,
going on?
I was looking at videos today, and it's really sad. It's widespread. It's not just a little here and a little there. It's big. Like whole sections, whole blocks of downtown are gone.
Wow.
I'm just looking at it now. They've had to shelter 1,800 people so far. I guess the shelter was
Never having been to Maui, can you describe what it's like? I mean, is it houses with grass lawns and stuff like that? Or I'm picturing that it's all beach property and it's all everybody lives on the beach. No, I guess not.
It's
Lahaina
very
was
green,
Lahaina was
very
the,
green.
Lahaina was the
Yeah,
harbor. It's the harbor. That's where all the whaling ships used to come in. Because not only is it a harbor, but it's protected by other islands outside of it. So the water was pretty calm. It's where the whales go to give birth and hang out. So there's a commerce center. It's a town. And then outside of the town is where all the homes are with the green lawns. But it's sidewalks and stores and restaurants and, you know, beachside restaurants, and a lot of that's gone.
And expensive.
So
I
how
mean,
did
not
how did
cheap.
it get on fire. It's not a wooded area then, huh?
No, it's a town.
So how did the fire start there? Do you know?
I have no clue. But it's really windy, so it doesn't take much. Just the power line coming down could do it.
Yeah, it's very, very windy there. Let me see. Maui burning. Let's see if it says the National Guard's been deployed. 6 dead for sure. A wildfire on Maui kills at least 6 as it sweeps through the historic town, forcing some into the ocean.
Well, the other issue that you're running into there is there's no place to move people. Where California wildfire, you can get them away. You're sort of landlocked or waterlocked on the islands, which is also causing some of the issues. And you can't bring in other resources from another state easily. So that's also another challenge in fighting this.
Yeah, it seems like it's a wildfire. Nobody, I don't see how it started. I'm glancing at the news. I don't think they know how it started. They just know it's a wildfire.
And usually on these wildfires, they don't worry about the source of origin until they get them established or contained on fire like this.
Well, our heart goes out to those people in Maui. That's for sure. You know, it's a beautiful place. If you've never been there, well, now I'm sure the next time you go there, it'll be completely rebuilt because there's so much money there. It's big money. I mean, you know, everything's expensive, and because everything is imported, there's nothing that, you know, except maybe the vegetables and the fruits. But other than that, everything's imported because it's an island. But it is an island in the United States because it's Hawaii, where we're all haoles over there. That's what they call us visitors, haoles, in case you didn't know. There's another bit of information that you just got for the first time. If you've never heard it before, you got a new ripple on your brain. Anyway, speaking of ripples on my brain and up on Cripple Creek, that's where you're going to find Robbie Robinson right now. I just heard that he passed away today at 80 years old. May he rest in peace. Man, I feel bad. I really liked the band. The band was a great guy, great band. I loved it. And I used to be friends with Rick Danko, and he passed away a long time ago. We used to hang out. Crazy guy. Anybody have any experiences with the band?
No.
Anybody have any experience with Robbie Robinson?
Actually, my experience with the band was I was at the Fillmore East when they made their live album there with Bob Dylan. So I mean, it's not really like I hung out with him or anything, but at least I got to see him.
Well, yeah, but they were Bob Dylan's backup band.
Right.
In case you didn't know that, that's what it is.
Right,
So
so-
also, didn't what's her name? Did she die this week or last week? I just got mental block on her name. Sinead O'Connor. I think she died last week.
Yeah.
Talked about her last week.
And somebody else well, there's lots of people die all the time, you know, but so anyway, moving on, let's talk about something more fun. A lottery ticket sold in Florida won today's Mega Millions, $1.58 billion jackpot. And believe it or not, that person hasn't claimed it yet.
Believe it or not. You'd be a
Is
fool
it
to
anyone in
claim
this
it.
room? Because believe me, I would love to know you if you won $1.58 billion.
No, I didn't win.
No, bummer. Sorry, Dave. Sorry, buddy.
I tried.
Anyway, it's all the luck of the draw there. I'm sure people, the luck of the draw is that's how you win. That's how, you win some, you lose some. But I'll tell you, speaking of money, for the first time, Americans' credit card debts have hit a record. Undesirable, a milestone of $1 trillion, according to the data released by the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. That means a lot of people are going to be in a lot of trouble as the interest rates go up. Credit card interest rates are much higher than the federal rate, right? I mean, it's 5-point-something%. I'll bet credit cards are right now are up to about, 12, 15, 17, 22%. So my recommendation, if you have any money on your credit card, figure out a way how to get it off your credit card as quickly as possible.
So, Jan, if you woke up in the morning with 1.8 billion American dollars, that's a lot of money in Australian dollars. How does anyone think they would feel?
Say that again, Wayne. You broke up before we heard the beginning of your statement.
He was just saying how intense an amount that is for somebody to win 1-point-something billion dollars.
Well,
one person won 1-point-something billion. That's crazy, right, Wayne?
Yeah.
So-
and how would you feel the morning that you know that happened? I mean, what would you think?
Let's reality check that. That's 1.5 billion, which turned out, if you took the cash equivalent, was
Yes.
780 million. And because it was in Florida, 60% of that went to federal and state taxes and local taxes, because it was in Miami County, is what I understood. So you're getting 40% then. Still 40% of 785 million is
400 million or something.
chunk of change.
A lot of
Yeah,
money.
what a
mate.
shame. I mean, you actually owe them money afterwards. You won $1 billion. All right, you're gonna have to pay us $2 million. And
Wayne,
thanks a
Wayne,
lot for playing.
I don't know about you, Wayne, but I'd be okay with maybe 1 million, 2 million. That's fine with me.
So,
But
Yeah, I'd be happy with that.
anything
Very
over
happy with
10
that.
million is ridiculous.
Yes.
well, and
Hey,
I
1
read it-
million is nothing these days. 1 million. I mean, there's this joke that goes around that there's a joke that people say, I'm working on my second million. And they say, wow, you already have $1 million. And the guy says, no, but I heard the second million's a lot easier to make than the first.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well,
I'd be
I also read an article in that same time span that the lottery got that big, that they had paid out 56 times 1 million or more in matching all 5 white balls. And there was 56 millionaires made in the same time span as this billion hit.
And I don't know one of those people that I could hit up for a loan. Damn. Unbelievable. I mean, I'd like to form a charity. I mean, people are pretty gullible these days for what they'll give money to,
So the medium price of homes in LA just hit $1 million.
Yeah, $1 million is, $1 million here, $1 million there. It's nothing anymore. I mean,
that's the average
so if
price.
anybody's got a spare million, they want to throw Tina and I, let me know,
It was a big deal. It was a big deal if you had $1 million home, but not anymore, right, David?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
it's
sure yours is worth double that, right?
at least double that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? And it was a little $400,000 shack a few years ago.
Well, we bought it for 66,000. And
Oh, there you go. See that?
it's worth
That's
about
great.
it's worth about 2.8 now.
Oh my God.
that's the best
crazy.
investment anybody could make. You can't make a
That's
better
great.
investment.
That's fantastic. Wow. Hey, I got to go to dinner, guys. It's dinner time here. So it's nice seeing you all. And I hope you have a great evening and a great day. And I hope all those things come out really well for you, Jan. And I'll talk to you all soon. Okay.
Have a
Thanks,
great show.
guys.
See you, Kenny.
Yeah,
Have
we'll
a
have
great week.
news. Just a little quick aside. I will have news next week that you want to tune in to. It'll be major news and breaking news here, and an educational forum as well. So tune in next week for that. I can't tell you any more than that at this point in time, but it is something that if you're a male and you are over 60, you want to tune into it. All right. And of course, if you know anybody that's a male that's over 60, you want to tune into it as well. So that'll be a very interesting conversation next week, I can assure you. All right, at least it will be for me. And I can assure you of that without doubt. Okay, so some entertainment news. Cardi B will not be charged related to her microphone throwing incident in Las Vegas. Did anybody see what happened there? Did that make the news in Australia, Wayne? Cardi B?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, we
I haven't
saw
heard that
Evidently,
one.
It was on the news here, all over the place.
yeah,
Yeah.
evidently she's doing a show and somebody threw something at her. I think some water.
No, he took a
Tina?
cup. He took a cup and he did like that with the cup, and the ice in the water flew onto her, hit her in the head, and got down her dress. But that's what it was. He just took a cup and went woof with the cup, and whatever was in it came out. The cup didn't come out. That stayed in his hand, but the ice in the water came out. And she got mad. She threw the microphone at him, and she hit somebody else who's now suing her.
Well, at least she's not being arrested for it. There you go.
Right.
And you can't get away with anything anymore these days, because whatever you do, no matter where you are, somebody is using their cell phone to video you. And so,
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to throw a microphone at somebody, you better hit them. You hit somebody else, it's assault.
that sounds like if you're going to shoot him, you better hit him as well. You better
That's
kill him
right.
if you're going to shoot him.
No
otherwise
innocent
you'll be-
bystanders.
No, there's no such thing as being innocent anymore. Everybody's guilty. So anyway,
I
so
got a
did you hear
question for
this?
you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I sent you this as an email. Did you get it?
I can't see it. Let me see. Let me see what it says.
It's in the LA
Yep,
Times.
the Roxy at 50. Yes, we talked about that last week.
Yeah, but I sent this article to you. Did you get it?
No, I don't think so. Maybe I haven't checked my email. I took a couple of days off from checking email and doing
All right.
everything.
Well, I'd rather not
Believe it or
mail
not.
it. I'd rather not mail it to you. So hopefully you got it.
All right. If you emailed it, I'll check my email. I really took a couple of days off. What's the gist of it other than the Roxy turned 50 and Neil
It's-
Young is performing?
It's the history about how it started and the whole story about how important it is, and Lou Adler and all of that. It's a really good article.
Lou Adler, Jack Nicholson.
It's a couple of pages long. It's a big thing.
Yeah, it's a pretty amazing venue. If you've never heard of the Roxy Theater, it is an amazing venue.
It talks about how
of
they
all the
put
people that were involved in that.
talks about how Lou Adler went to London and found the Rocky Horror Picture Show and brought it back. When you went
I
to
saw
see
it. I actually was in LA. I was visiting LA when I went to see, when I was driving down Sunset Strip, and I thought I was going to a movie. And instead it was a live show of the Rocky Horror Picture Show with Tim Curry. And
Right.
then afterwards, and I talked about it last week, I walked next door to the Rainbow and met John Lennon and Jimmy Page and Alice Cooper. Well, I didn't meet them, but I got to be as close to them as humanly possible without touching them, because the room was very small. And that was cool.
Well, that's why
So
the
that was my
article
first
came out.
experience.
I thought you'd like the article.
Yep, I will look at it. I will definitely look at it for sure.
All right.
Anyway, speaking of sending people things, I don't know if you know this, but China now is passing a law. And when they pass a law, they just say, boom, it's a law. And it is. They're going to limit people talking on their cell phones to 2 hours a day. They figure that basically the kids are spending too much time on their phone. So China wants to limit minors to no more than 2 hours a day on their cell phone. No one under 18 would be able to access screens between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. while using the mode. Children under 8 will be able to use their phones for only 40 minutes a day, and while those between 8 and 16 would get an hour of screen time. Teenagers over 16 and under 18 would be allowed 2 hours. All other age groups would receive a reminder to rest if they're using their device for more than 30 minutes. So I would say, China is not the place you want to live if you like your cell phone. That's it, That's what I would say. How
You think
often do
that-
you think you spend on your cell phone, Wayne?
I probably spend a fair bit, but I don't. I usually always just fossicking away. I'm not really, or I use it for buying something or whatever, I don't very often just sit on the cell phone and use it at the end of the day. But lots of people do, especially under 18, they never stop. So that scenario could be good, but I can't see that ever happening. What does anyone else think of having limited time? I think
Dave?
the phone's out there. How do you stop? I mean, what do they do? Put software in there to not allow an under 18-year-old person to access it all the time? How do they make that work?
Well, they know
Well, they're
about,
China.
they know about how they know the minute you're on, the minute you're off, and they're just gonna. They have what's called a social scoring system, and you get so many points, then you can spend a day in the bunker or in the jail or something. Once you have so many points, so you got to stay good on the social credits.
Yeah. Sounds interesting. You know what intrigues me about China is you have so much technology, but certain areas of China still don't have proper infrastructure. And there's so much technology and they're so good at making it as well. It just intrigues me, that does sometimes.
Actually, China, you can go to complete ghost cities. They built in their boom. They built all of these cities. It's really weird when you see a full city. You see like all these apartment buildings that have been built up, an office building, and they're completely empty. And like on the top, you'll see there's no windows or anything like that, and nobody's living there. And they built all these different ghost cities all over the country. It's pretty crazy when you take a train ride and you see one ghost city after another. And these are not small ghost cities. They're huge. They're huge. Like, 30-story high office buildings, completely empty with the windows missing from it, but they're completed. That's crazy.
It's a wonder they don't make use of them for just normal housing, or are they just in remote areas?
Well, they made them in hopes that, I guess they made them in hopes of growth where people would go there, but people didn't go there. That's what I'm guessing. I don't know. I'm not a Chinese expert, as a matter of fact. I do like Chinese food, though.
Yeah, I don't mind Chinese
Hard to
food
get
either.
good Chinese food here, though, because
That's my
everything's
dinner
Thai food
tonight.
here. Yeah, everything's Thai. So another story I wanted to bring up, Justin Trudeau is getting divorced. I thought that was kind of unusual, that he's getting divorced, whereas you never would think of somebody in America getting divorced, i.e. the Clintons. You would think that they would have gotten divorced during, but I guess, that power in America is so great that you just don't, you don't give up. But I guess in Canada, it's not so much. Don't know. Anybody have any comments on that?
Yeah.
Good. No comments. We're moving on. All right. All right. Do you have any money in Wells Fargo? Not anymore. All right. Or maybe you do. Could you believe it? All that money just disappeared. People were making deposits in Wells Fargo and the money just disappeared. And that must have freaked people out. I wonder how people will stay with Wells Fargo after they, if they all of a sudden their money disappeared out of their bank account and they couldn't find it and they couldn't get anybody to give them an answer. What happened to their money? Anybody affected in the room?
Did they say anything, or where'd it go?
No,
It's a computer glitch somewhere, but I mean, I have left Wells Fargo 4 times and they buy the bank that I left. And so I have to leave them again. I've not trusted Wells Fargo the last 15 years. So it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, Wells Fargo was the first bank that started selling products to people that they didn't want or need, and they didn't even know they were buying it. They just found out later that they bought it. So that's unfortunate for Wells Fargo, but and for their customers. But some people are just unscrupulous, and it seems like Wells Fargo is one of those brands that just can't seem to get it together to give their customers confidence in them. But then again, what bank does really? What bank really has? Everybody I know that's been with a bank long enough finds that they have a problem with that bank.
So they're replacing them with toasters, Jan. They're giving them toasters that they got left over.
Yeah.
I gotta say,
I mean,
I've
the-
had no problems with B of A, and I've been with them for 40 years.
But wait till you do, and it'll be a good one. Because that's what happened with me. I was with Bank of America forever. And then all of a sudden, one day they said, you know what? You've committed fraud. And to this day, I got all my money back. They gave me back all my money, but they are, even though it was their mistake, their complete mistake, they're still blaming me for their mistake. And that is crazy talk. And yet, but I would never go back to Bank of America, nor would they have me as a customer anymore. So we have a mutual understanding, you know, but I do own their stock and I'm making money off of them. So screw Bank of America is what I say, you know. I'm a bondholder. I own that company. All right. Well, I'd like to make some changes, but forget it. I don't have enough stock to make changes. Anyway, so did you guys see the name of the show? What we're calling this episode?
No,
In God we trust, all
Yes, I
others
did.
pay cash.
Yes, I did say that.
That has been my motto forever. But in God we trust, all others pay cash. So now all Louisiana public schools are now required to display the national motto of In God We Trust inside every classroom under a new law that went into effect this week. Some critics fear that the law will further blur the line separating church and state, which follows, anyway, it's crazy, but it's on every bill. And if you've ever seen a United States bill, whether it's a $1 bill or $100 bill or any denomination, every bill does say, In God We Trust.
Yeah, but that didn't start until the 50s. Before that,
No
it was,
way.
yeah,
Yeah.
it started because of the communists. And they wanted to say, well, communists don't believe in God, and we do. So they put it on the money. Before that, it was never on the money.
What did it say?
It just didn't say In God We Trust, that's all.
didn't say it. Yeah, it was added. So,
Just like we didn't have under God in the Pledge of Allegiance. It's the same thing.
You're kidding. Well, because I went through school, and even to this day, I remember, because you had to say it every day, one nation under God, indivisible, but that's part of the Pledge of Allegiance,
It wasn't when you were born.
Well, I did, they didn't teach it to me until I was about 5 or 6 years old.
Right. They indoctrinated you already.
That's it. I was indoctrinated. That's it. Indoctrinated, whatever it is. But,
well, you're talking about that. This guy paid me the other day in $100 bills, and I looked at the one. Remember when they changed the format of the $100 bill 8-10 years
yes.
ago? We called it funny money. I received a 1980s $100 bill, and now it looks like the funny money.
The interesting thing about it is they won't take that money overseas. All they will take is perfectly brand new looking bills. It has to have the stripes in it. It has to be the latest and the greatest of the money. Otherwise, you can't get it cashed anywhere outside of the United States. And the United States is still good, but once you leave the country, nobody will take that currency. So that's a word to the wise. If you're traveling, make sure that you have the latest $100 bills. Any other denomination, they penalize you for as well in the exchange rate. So that's an interesting point. If you've never traveled outside the United States, they do charge more for a 20 or a 50. So remember to take $100 bills with you when you travel. And that's our tip of the day. Anyway, let's see, what else do I have to talk about? That's it. I have nothing else to talk about right now. I got engaged, but I think you knew that because I got engaged last week, and then I took a couple of days off and I went to Bangkok with Bowen. And for 4 days, ladies and gentlemen and children of all ages, this is one for Ripley's, believe it or not, I did not open my computer. Did not open my computer once. For 4 days. And let me tell you, I was jonesing like crazy when I got home. Now I'm I slept with the computer last night, to Bo's chagrin.
How far behind
No,
were you?
seriously. What I find now is the iPad The iPad is so good that you really don't need a computer when you travel. If you travel with an iPad and you have a keyboard, which I didn't have, but the iPad is so impressive right now, and Apple has really merged the software so that it's so similar. And the new version of software that they're coming out with, 17, I believe, is the number, is going to be even more integrated so that it doesn't matter whether you're on a MacBook Pro or a MacBook or any kind of computer that and an iPad or an iPhone. And it's pretty much amazing. It's almost easier to read your email on an iPhone than it is on the computer.
You have to start filling out the Adobe form.
Yeah. I mean, but people are living on their phone right now. I mean, so many people are living on their phone where they're doing everything on their phone. You get your news on the phone, you get your weather on the phone, you get your time on the phone. There are people that don't wear a watch anymore because they use their phone to tell time. And they might leave the house with nothing but their phone, but nobody leaves the house without their phone.
I haven't used a watch for yonks in 20 years, maybe more. Just the phone will do me.
No, I stopped wearing it during COVID and I just haven't put it back on again.
Oh, what do you have? But I did feel odd because you know how if your watch is not there when you've worn it for 20 odd years,
on show days, I want to wear a watch because I don't want to keep pulling my phone out of my pocket to see what time it is, because there's a schedule. You know, as long as there's a real schedule, I need a real watch, a timepiece. But in general, I don't care.
If I'm doing a show, I tend to watch my clock on my phone to start with, but I turn my phone because it annoys the hell out of me, the phone in your pocket or walking around because you can't bend down. It's just annoying. On it when you're working, I always just put it away. Turn it off in most cases. Because I don't like being sometimes I don't like being interrupted, you know, when you're concentrating on stuff, and everyone
I'm like Dave, unless you got somebody calling the show in your ear, you got to pay attention to it on show days. It's too critical. So, Hey, Jan, did you see that they've gone, Domino's in Britain has gone beyond using the drones to do their delivery. They're now delivering pizza with a guy on a jetpack.
That's funny. That's funny. That's crazy. That's crazy talk.
They've got the hot box on top of the engines on the jetpack, and he walks into the store. He turns around backwards. They put the pizzas in hot box. Then he goes out and flies to wherever he's going. Gets to the store, takes the money. I mean, it's already paid for. Turns around. They take the pizza out of the hot box in the back. So he's just.
Now, how many people can he deliver to at the same time?
He can hold like 4 or 5 pizzas at a time in the hot bag.
So basically, he goes to individual houses because because he can't take it out himself. They have to take it out. He has to turn around and say, "Open the box, and you could have the pizza." You know.
Right.
So if he has extra pizza and they're they're not honest people, they could steal the extra pizzas. I got it. Yes.
But he's got, and the part of the thing is he's got 2 blowers on his hands, so that's his direction. That's his thrust control. So he's got blowers on his feet or on his back, and then he's got his hands, which was what he's using to steer his pattern. But avoids traffic.
Now, I wonder what he would put on his resume of his job description on that.
That's a good one.
You know, Domino's, the pizza delivery man with jetpack, you know, or jetpack expert or something along those lines. I don't know.
Pilot.
I don't know. Anyway, I got nothing else to talk about. Anybody have anything they want to say?
Well, I was going to show you this. Has anyone, I'm sure you're all aware of it, but can anyone see that on the phone?
Not really.
What is it?
Show it again, Wayne.
See if I can show it.
Is it a little
somehow.
mixer?
Yeah, it's a little mixer. Yeah, you can.
Hold on,
mix
Wayne. I'm going to pin you. I'm going to pin you now so we can see it. Go ahead. Wow, that is pretty cute. What is that, Wayne?
That's an app. You can run your console. I've run the console with that. It's unreal. And you can open.
What app is that, Wayne?
That's the mixing station. See there, can you see that? I've got all the
Which brand?
mixing station, but that's just a UI. That's a little Soundcraft, that one. But there's a whole bunch of consoles you can do, and you can chat. It's an unreal app because you can change all the UI sizes and all sorts of goodies.
Why don't you throw the link into the chat so people can look at it?
Because I probably wouldn't know how to
You
do
can.
that, Jan. But that's and I haven't. I probably can't show. I haven't got a link to that. But it's mixing station, and
It's
you can
called
put it on
Mixing Station. How
Yeah,
do you
there's a-
spell that?
mixing, just straight mixing. Mixing station.
The mixing
M-I-X-I-N-G
station, it's an app.
station?
MIX.
It's an app.
It's an app. Yeah. So
Yeah,
they got
yeah,
one
yeah.
for
I see
they got
it.
one for phone, PC, and
Mixing station allows you to remote control digital mixers from Allen and Heath, Behringer, Midas, Soundcraft, and Mackie.
it's unreal. It really is. I use it all the time. And you can make user layers. You can put as many channels as you'll feel comfortable with. It's unreal. It really is quite an amazing aftermarket app, and it does. And you buy. There's a standard one, and then you can buy. I've bought quite a few, but you can buy bits and a pro version of each of the brands. And but if you're using small, it does all the VI series. It does the Allen Heath D-Live. I don't use the D-Live, but I've been using quite a few of the smaller sounding crafts but it's an unreal app. And the fact that it's an unreal is because you can change all the sizes of everything or how many channels you want on the screen or the layout. You can even change the layout. Anything you can change almost and make it to suit yourself. And
Well, there you go.
And it
There
even
you
does
go.
this, a very interesting one. And I don't know. So if you have, say, for example, you set up your console with 24 channels of front of house and 24 channels of monitors, you can actually do target mixes so that when you press mix 1 on monitors, it will assign, you can assign all the channels that are just the second layer and it automatically goes to that layer. So it's just unreal. And and you can put a different color on it. It's just a great, I think
Now,
it's a
isn't it
great
a
app.
little small for you to be taking a chance on a show using an iPhone to mix it?
I don't do the iPhone very often. That's my backup. I use the iPad to do the.
Oh, there you go. So it's an iPad. Anyway, it's on Apple Store. Tina threw the link in in the chat if you guys want to see it. But I'm sure it's an Android app as well, right?
Yes,
I think it
put
was.
I put the link to their website. It has all the links to the apps on both the Google Store and Apple.
I think it's
So, there you
fantastic.
go.
Anyway,
Well, listen, I can't think of anything else to talk about. If you guys have anything you want to say before we send the people on social media on their merry way, then now would be the time. Otherwise, I'm going to say goodbye to everybody
have a great
on
week.
social media.
I got some Hotel
Anybody have anything you
California.
want to talk about?
I got some Hotel California shows coming up. Tomorrow I'm going to Flagstaff, Arizona. And then I'm in Las Vegas. I'm going to see the Dome.
It's
Very
really
good.
impressive when you see it. If you can get inside, try to get inside as well. I've
I
never been
probably-
inside, but I hear the inside is more impressive than the outside.
Well, we're going to be
By the
there
way,
with-
there's a huge article about the Sphere in Front of House magazine. If you get it, you just go to fohonline.com, fohonline.com, and there's a huge article about the Sphere.
I'll be,
I haven't read it. I saw it, but I just looked at it this morning, and I didn't have a chance to read it. I will be reading it though, because it seems like it really goes in depth on all of the production elements that going to be involved in the Sphere and what it can do and what it's capable of. But I guess the big question is what happens when U2 performs there for their residency? Is it going to cut the mustard? That's the $1 million question, or actually that's a $1 billion question right now of whether or not that's going to happen. So, but wow, there's so much going on around that time. The F1 race, all of that stuff. It almost pays. I wonder if it pays for me to be back in Las Vegas at that point in time. If not, maybe I should just rent my house out. Who knows? We'll see. Wayne, if you need a place to stay, let me know. All right.
Right, yeah. So the other question before we leave, and I'll ask David, is I had a look at the 3-hour clip of Taylor Swift. That,
Oh yeah.
I didn't watch. I only watched about. I haven't watched it all. I didn't have time, but I watched about half. I couldn't. The amount of production. How many line arrays do they want? How many things? I'm going.
Line arrays. Think about the video. The entire deck
I know.
and ramps are all video walls. Plus the
All
walls
video.
that come up in the middle are surrounded with video walls. I mean, what a production. It's pretty impressive.
Absolutely.
Does anybody know who the production manager is for Taylor Swift?
No, but whoever designed that, it's so simple. I mean, it looks simple because it's just a one big flat area and a big flat wall behind the stage. But moving parts, it's just so well done.
Very impressive.
That I read this week is no two of her shows have been the exact same show. She does different music each night. She changes it up. She changes the order up. So if you saw her show 6 times, she showed 6 different shows.
Well, I got to
Wow,
say,
that's impressive.
you know, all the years I've been working in the business, I've worked with real entertainers, people who can talk to an audience and be funny and entertaining and not have to just sing or play. They can take a third of their show and it's just them and the audience interacting. And when you watch the Taylor Swift show, she does that. She really talks to the audience more than any other act in contemporary music that I've seen. And that makes her really special. And it's one of the reasons that her shows are so loved, because she puts herself into it as a person as well as her talent. It's really interesting to watch that she's got that ability to just talk and everybody is happy.
Have you seen the video of, I forget which show it was, that they got rained on and then the piano started sitting up on it?
And she just performed in the rain.
She just performed in the rain, but she sits down to play with the piano and the piano starts playing on its own.
I
Because
didn't
it's
see that
stored
part.
in it. And her comic relief at the moment, trying to figure out what to do and how to go with it. I mean, it's just great how she just, well, it's nobody's fault. We just had downpour and the keys are wet and now they're not working.
Well, there was another video of her when her mic didn't work. And she's standing there without the mic working and she didn't get upset. You know, eventually the sound guy came out and gave her another mic. And when she started talking, it was like, oh, well, you know, that's the way it goes. It was great. Great attitude.
Beats the.
That is. I mean, she had a great attitude all from the beginning. I mean, my understanding is she used to bake cookies for her fans up until, you know, she had already had multiple, you know, platinum selling records and she was super successful. And yet she would still bake cookies for her fans.
I think she hasn't forgotten where she's come from. And her start coming up. I think that just all blends into her show.
Yeah, she's a pretty amazing performer, and tickets are, you know, ticket sales are amazing. It's sold out everywhere. Somebody mentioned that they still have some friends and family tickets available for the shows, you know, that she keeps some put aside for people for the crew that they can do friends and family stuff, but they're $500 a pop for a ticket, you know, so, but people are willing to shell out that money to see her.
Buoyancy's playing tonight in Bank of America here in Charlotte. And I just looked 3 hours before the show and there had to be at least 500 seats in the lower ring that were under $200, where you can't get a Taylor Swift ticket. I mean, just the opposite. But I mean,
what show was it that you said?
I can't ever pronounce her name. Buoyancy.
Beyonce.
But I mean, I was just really surprised that 3 hours before the show, there was that many tickets at that low of price. But they've been building her set for a week in the stadium. But yeah, I mean, it depends on the show and the actor and how they perform with it.
Well, there's just so many shows out there right now that I find it very difficult to see where people are coming up with the money to see as many shows as there are available to see. So you really have to pick and choose the show that you want to go to.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, Jan. And
You know,
I was joking with the person at supper. I was like, the scalpers are taking a bath on these tickets that ran the price up 3 weeks ago, and now they're having to sell them off for $200. So,
well, good for them. They deserve to lose money. I hate scalpers. I think that, I personally believe that there's no place for them, because the artist doesn't make any more money, and they're ripping off the people just because they have some money to lay out and get some tickets so that they could hoard and make a profit off of it. I don't see the benefit of that. I wish there was some concerts, like for example, Garth Brooks, he makes it so that when you go to the show to get in, you have to show the credit card that you purchased the tickets on. So that way that they can't be scalp tickets.
what was it? Luke Combs? I was reading it. I think it was Luke Combs. It was one of the country artists. Depending on the venue, he does not allow the first 2 or 3 rows to be sold at his concert. Those first 2 or 3 rows are not sold, and then he will go up into the upper tier right before the opening act comes on, and he'll start selecting people from the upper tier and bring them down into the first 3 rows.
That is brilliant, but
Or he
but
takes a manager or whatever. Somebody goes up from the crew and goes and pulls the people that paid for nosebleeds and gets them in the first 2 or 3 rows.
Doesn't
it
Billy
would
Joel
be-
do that? Billy
Pardon?
Joel, I think, does that also. He doesn't want all those rich people sitting down front who don't care. He wants his fans down front.
Yeah, also the Rolling Stones do the same thing, but they do it to for their fan club. You have to be an official member of their fan club to be in the first couple of rows.
And I think it was,
And they sell the first couple of rows through their fan club only.
but he was wanting the people that he figured the people that are willing to buy the nosebleed seats to come to a show are really the true fans.
That's nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so. I mean, it's possible that some millionaires are big fans of Luke Combs, but the more money you have, usually the less excited you get about various things. I'm just guessing. I wouldn't know, but I'm guessing. You get a little jaded when you do those kind of things, when you got that kind of money. Just guessing, just an opinion. What do I know?
Well,
Anyway, I do know we're running on to we're running into our overtime now. So if there's anything that anybody has that they want to say now, this is it. And then we're going to move on and we're going to say bye to those people in social media. Then we'll hang out in the room and talk amongst ourselves. Anybody?
Have a great week.
Have a great week.
All right, that's it.
Goodbye, everybody.
Well,
Bye, everyone.
thanks for watching. Leave comments, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. You know what to do. We appreciate it. Tell your friends, join the panel, do whatever you need to do to make me happy. That's what I could say. Make me happy. That's it. Make my day. Go ahead, go make my day and be part of the show. Thanks everybody who's participating in the show. Sam, Wayne, Brian, David, Kenny, Tina, Jan, you're a great guy. Hang in there with us, and with that in mind, remember, you make it happen. Everything you heard today is an opinion. This has been our 168th episode of this show. Next week will be 169. Come and visit. In God we trust. All others pay cash. And remember, you make it happen. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you again next week. And with that, we are off the air. And say goodbye to social media.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.